Do you see a certain tension between Elon students and the Burlington community? Do you think there is a tension?
I'm not sure I'd use the word tension.
How would you describe it?
And it's an interesting question. I would say that people really appreciate Elon students as a whole and like them. The fact of the matter is that Elon University has a huge economic impact on this region, and don't think the community doesn't appreciate that, because we result in a lot of jobs being created in this area just by our presence here. And I think Elon students are, for the most part, really good-hearted kids who give a lot to the community, and the community really appreciates that too. I think you would be surprised, though, at the number of people in the community that look at Elon as kind of an island of privilege. That I wonder. Again, I come back to the Elon Academy. One of the things that program does is get kids on our campus, young people on our campus, who have never been here before, who probably think about Elon as a place where I don't belong or I could never go. And one of our goals at the university is to try to erase that idea in people's minds, that the community is welcome here, and that Elon is a place where young local people should aspire to go. And one of the great things about the Elon Academy, I think, is that when we graduate our first class this year, a lot of those young people who were probably 3 or 4 years ago on the brink of not knowing whether they were going to go to college or not are going to come to school here on a scholarship. And I think that is the kind of thing that will make a huge difference in tearing down those walls over the long term.
You mentioned perception. One of the things we're looking at is Elon's perception of the community and the community's perception of Elon. What do you think are the stereotypes of either?
I don't know that I'm the best person to answer that question, because I think that my perception is so colored by the constant feedback that I get from members of the community about what Elon students are doing out there in schools and social service agencies and business and doing internships, and they're so uniformly well thought of and appreciated. My perception of this is probably
skewed.
Probably skewed and a little more optimistic than it actually is. But my view is that the community's perception of the university is very, very positive. I think that we've always got to be careful, because particularly in the town of Elon, we're the elephant in the living room. We sneeze, they get a cold. And so the closer you get to the university, perhaps the more aware you have to be of the tremendous impact of the institution on the community.
I want to focus on you for just a moment, because you said your perception is probably a little bit skewed, and that's probably true. But when you came down here, you were a Yankee coming to the southern city of Burlington, North Carolina. How did they receive you?
Well, the search committee, I'm told, actually talked about that. How would somebody who not only grew up in the North but has never lived in the South do? And there are these stereotypes of Yankees and our Yankee ways.
But you eventually got here.
But
so how did that happen?
I got here, and I think that people are happy to claim us after 11 years still. But those perceptions in people's minds exist.
I'm curious, have you ever been at a cocktail party when you first got down here, and you're in Burlington and somebody's talking about the typical Elon student, and they don't know at the moment who you are, the president of Elon. Have you ever overheard some conversations where you just think to yourself, well, that's not true?
Yeah, and I would, you know what I think I hear about more than anything else is that it's our student cars. It's, my goodness, look at the cars that Elon students drive. They're better than my car. You know, I see what students drive, and occasionally you'll see students drive a nice car. I remember many years ago we had someone here with a yellow Hummer, and I thought, oh, you know, that car made a statement in the community. And I think what I've had to work hard to do is to let people know that, you know, yes, some students have nice cars, but a lot of students here are on financial aid, and a lot of students are taking out loans, and there are a lot of students here whose moms and dads and grandparents and everyone is contributing to make this education possible for them. So I really have to work against the perception that, you know, this is a school exclusively for rich students, and that, you know, the message is that we don't want to be seen as a gated community, that we want to be more and more accessible to students who come from families of very modest means. We want to build our scholarship endowment so we can have more diversity in our student body, particularly socioeconomic diversity. And sometimes, you know, that ideal of what we want the university to be needs to be thoughtfully and carefully explained when people see a screaming yellow Hummer in the parking lot, and they go, okay, how do those messages go together?